Subscribe, please.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Gimpys Gal guesses. I know it's been a while. Well, it's been a while since I filmed one of these, but it hasn't been a while since you've seen one because we've pre-filmed a lot of them. Like I said when we got back from WBC last month, which it's been, wow, right at a month since we've been back. That's crazy that time goes so quickly, but we were just so excited and had so many things we wanted to share. So there was lots of videos that were filmed there and right after we got back. So it's been a while since I sat down and filmed one of these, but I'm very excited to be doing this. Before I jump into it, I do want to say this game is only being guessed by me and made possible by one of our subscribers, or one of Gimpy's subscribers, Stuart. So if you're watching, Stuart, thank you. We really appreciate it. If you haven't been made aware, we are moving in November, beginning of November. So there's a lot of games Gimpy wants and a lot of games Gimpy can't get right now because we are obviously saving to move. We're going to have our own home, and so we're saving for the move itself and to be able to have, you know, the things that we would like to have in our home. So this is only being guessed because Stuart was so amazing, and when this game was mentioned, he sent it right over to Gimpy. So again, Stuart, thank you so much. You are incredible. He is just beyond grateful for you and for really all of you guys that subscribe to this channel. So speaking of which, if you're not subscribed, like, look at the little corner, and if the subscribe is still red, it means that you're not subscribed. Go ahead and click that. You might as well, you know you want to. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload new videos. Yeah, so go ahead and get that out of the way and you're good. Then you don't have to worry about it again. But I just really, again, wanted to say thank you to Stuart, and let's just jump into this because I could ramble all night. So one last thing I do want to mention, though, before I get into this game, is with us moving, there may be a slight slowdown of videos that are going to be coming. There are still, I think, a few that are pre-filmed, so there'll still be videos going up. They just might not be as regular. I know mine has definitely slowed down on my Facebook and on my Instagram. I'm still trying to keep up with that, but with 2 small kids and a huge move coming up, things are definitely getting crazy for us, as I'm sure they are for everyone with back to school and the holidays coming up. Yeah, I said the holidays even though it's not even September yet. Well, by the time you're seeing this, it's September, but you know what I mean. Christmas will be here before you know it, and things get crazy for everyone around this time of year. So just be aware that there may not be as many videos going up, but we will try to get as many as we possibly can up in a timely manner. We haven't committed to a schedule because I think with the move and with so many events that we have to attend as part of that, we don't want to commit a schedule and not be able to uphold that. So once we're settled in our home, we will probably come up with a filming schedule where we'll be able to film certain days a week, and videos will go up on certain days, and there might be some that go up in between, but that will probably be when we move. But let's get into this because, like I said, I'll ramble all day. So this, again, thank you, Stuart, is brought to you by Stuart. This is a Compass Games game. It is called Nightfighter Ace. Looks like this. That is the front of the box. I love the plane. It has like a mouth drawn on it. This looks like a drawing, but it kind of also looks pretty realistic, so I can't tell if it's art or if it's an actual picture, or if it's like a picture that's been made to look like artwork, if that makes sense. But this is a game by Gregory M. Smith. It says air defense over Germany, 1943 to 1944, so I'm guessing it takes place in Germany. 1943 to 1944 would be a good guess. Back of the box before I open it up says Nightfighter Ace places you in command of a German night fighter during World War II. And then it just has, again, like the counters, some example of gameplay, like the cards, some other little formy things. Complexity is medium. It is 3 to 4 days per turn is the time scale. So every turn is equivalent to 3 to 4 days in the game. It says map scale is abstract, and number of players 1 or more, but it's best with 1. So this is a good solitaire game. It's a very high solitaire suitability, and average time to play 2 to 3 hours. Components, we have 1 counter sheet, 16 aircraft display mats, 4 player aid cards, 1 combat display mat, 1 bomber target mat, 1 pilot awards display mat, that's a tongue twister or a mouthful, 1 air operations display mat, 40 ace pilot cards, 60 combat cards, 1 rules booklet with historical background, 1 log sheet, and 2 6-sided and 1 10-sided die. And then it just says the designer is Gregory M. Smith and Joe Gandara. And again, it's by Gimpys Games. So let's open this up here. Oh, let me show you the back. Sorry. There is the back. I always have trouble getting that out. There we go. So here's our cards. Here's the dice. And let's get all these sheets and counters out, because that's what the bulk of this is. Okay. So, first of all, here is the dice. So you have 2 6 and 1 10. These are, it's a black one and a white one for the 6, and then this one is like a grayish kind of color for the D10, which looks like this. And this is the rules of play booklet right here. On the back is the rules index, which I like. It said historical background, so I'm guessing it gives you background of like the history of this like battle, because the image is the same as the box, so I don't think it's meaning physical background. I think it's meaning more. Okay, yeah. In the back, it looks like we have some like historical optional rules. I know this is a page. Oh. Okay, historical notes. So here in the back, like the whole back section looks like it's just kind of terminology and just giving you a good background of the history behind this game. So that is what is in the back of the book. It starts on page 18 is where the like history of it is. So if that is something that interests you, which I'm sure it interests a lot of you, if you're on this channel, you like historically based games, and you like the history of it, that will be important for you to know. So page 18 is where the history starts. So if you want to flip to there, you'll be able to do that. All right, so flipping through here, not a lot of pictures, nothing really jumping out at me. As I've mentioned before, some games have little summaries or little cheats, or they just have like, here's the goal of the game. Don't see anything like that yet. But again, what I do is not reading this, because that would be Gimpys Gal reads the rules of play. We're not doing that. So I'm just skimming through to see if there's anything in this book that I can see at a glance that can help me put this together. I see ace pilot cards. So these look like the pilot cards with their information on it. And that's really what this is, the rules of play. But we don't need that for what I'm doing. Then it says there was lots of charts and a few maps. So let's figure out what all this is. Let's get down to the counter. So here's the counters. Is that the only counter? I think there was only 1 sheet of counters. Yeah. So we'll save those for the end. All right, here's the operations map. Looks like this. We have weather, moon, and range effects on combat. It says French bases, French targets, Dutch bases, Munster bases, Bremen bases, Frankfurt, Munich, and Berlin. So it sounds like German and Dutch. That might be the same thing. I'm not good with geography. As I've said, I'm not good with geography. I'm not good with specific historical dates. I know all the important dates in history. I know some major events, but little tiny locations, cities, towns, I don't know that. So forgive me if I ever make a mistake. But what I do see on here that's catching my eye is sequence of play. Perfect. Roll for raid target 2d6 on chart A1. Perfect. So where's chart A1? There's A2, B10, A1. Here we go. So using this chart, it says roll for raid target. So you're going to roll those 2d6, check for weather. So if you, then you roll the D10 and you use another table to tell you if there's any weather that's going to be affecting your turn. And then you check for random electronic failure. Again, you're going to be rolling the dice for that using another chart. Move from the takeoff endurance box to the raid location endurance box. That is gibberish to me. Check for spoof raids. This is another thing that you're going to be rolling the dice for. Roll for interception in each remaining endurance box. Again, rolling dice for that. Roll for landing weather. All of these look like you are rolling the dice. 7, it says obtain awards, prestige points, and experience points. And then you can spend those points if you would like to. Repeat the process on the next sortie line on the sortie log until shot down and killed or until the last turn of July 1944. Okay, so I actually think this one's making sense to me. I don't know if it's because I haven't done one in a while and it's just like my mind is clear. I don't know, but this is your sortie log sheet. It says right up here, Ace sortie log sheet. And on the sequence of play, you're going to be keeping track of your turns. So it has date August of 43 to January of 44. So that is a turn, okay? And then on the back, it goes to July of 44. So July of 44 is basically your goal is to get there. So it says you keep repeating the sequence of play until you are shot down and killed. So I'm assuming some of the things that you will do. I don't see anything about drawing cards or anything, but rolling the dice and these charts have different effects, and that will give you damage, allow you to do something. So your goal is to make it there without being shot down. That's when the game ends. When you are killed, obviously that's when the game ends. And then if you make it to July 44 and you're still intact, I guess you win the game. So that's what I meant when I said that the turn was 2 to 3 days. I know I feel so stupid saying this, but one game I was guessing the turn thing said 1 to 3 years was the turn tracker. And I was like, that is impossible. I know there are games that are like really in depth and really lengthy, but a turn taking 1 to 3 years to play is insane. Then it clicked that it meant like in the game, that's how much time was going by per turn. So at least I have figured that out by now. But this looks relatively simple, quite honestly. This was just the operations map. So let me see what other charts and things there are. All right, these look like these must be something to do with the planes. Okay, so this says BF, some kind of 110 G-4A, 4-F-4A, yeah, all different letter and number arrangements on these little charts, which look like they have to do with the type of plane that you're flying. Yeah, it looks like these are when you choose, I guess, which plane you're flying as. I guess, is it the same on the front and the back? Might be different on some of the things. But anyways, it looks like these charts here represent your planes. And it looks like the counters here match these. And I guess you keep up with your plane's upgrades or what your plane can do, which side it is, where it's at. It says bases on this chart. They all say bases. So I guess you keep track of what bases you've landed at, or maybe bases you have planes at. I'm not 100%. There's just a single plane on top of each of these, but they do all look different. So I guess these are the individual like planes that you're getting to play as, because it's obviously a plane, an air battle game. So these are all the different. We can just look at the back of the box. So you have 4 player aid cards. Haven't seen those. Okay, 16 aircraft display mats. Those are the aircraft display mats. So I was right. So this is just for your aircraft. So that's what those are. And then player aid sheets. Let's see. Pilot and crew status. So that says optional ace card, prestige level, current level. This looks like your personal, like you're keeping track of that. There was another one of those. Nope. This is the B-10 Bomber target mat. Not 100% what that is for. Let's set that up here with the map. So I'm trying to figure out. These must be the player aid cards. I don't know. I can't. Okay. These maybe? Yeah. Okay. So this says sequence of play over here. You have interception, attack deck result. So I don't know what these are. It says that there's player aid cards, but I'm not seeing that unless that's what these are. But this has like the sequence of play on it, like bomber damage, bomber random damage, and these look like the chart thing too. I don't know. I'm confused because, yeah, this is player aid card 2 of 3. 2 of 3. This is player aid card 3 of 3. So this must be player aid card 1 of 3, please. Unless I'm missing one. Pilot and crew. Yeah, see, this doesn't say that this is a player aid. See, these both say player aid card 2 of 3 and 3 of 3. So where is the other player aid card? It's got to be in here, and I just missed it. Let's see. All right, let me try to find it because I'm missing it. There's supposed to be 3 of them. Let's see. It's got to be this other one because there's none in there. That's all the plain charts. So these must be your 3 player aid cards. This one, it says it's a bomber target map, so it can't be a player aid card. So I don't know. It said I thought it said there was 3 or 4. How many does it say? 4 player aid cards. Maybe that's in the actual deck. Maybe that's what it is. Ace pilot. Let's look in here and see if we can figure it out because it says there's 4 player aid cards and I'm only seeing these 2. So unless I am missing something, these are all the pilots. Yep, just what I suspected. So here's what those look like. These are the ace pilot cards. Is that what that? Yeah, these are ace pilot cards. So we have those. I'm just gonna stick them back in here so they don't get mixed up at all. Okay. And then these are the combat cards. So this is, okay, I think what happens is you're using these charts to determine if things happen. Like I said, sequence of play says you're gonna check for raid target first, check for weather, and you're gonna check for all these different things, and you're rolling a dice for each of those. Some of them must have you drawing a card, because on the pilot cards it says starting abilities, for example, 9 prestige points and a prestige level of 9 with all awards up to the Knight's Cross with 0 plus. 5 experience points, a rank of a major, expert in DO something and BF, which are planes, and 65 skills. That's just an example of some of the skill or the starting ability for these pilots. So this is my guess, and then I'll show you the rest of the stuff that I haven't physically shown you yet, is you're just doing exactly what it says here. You're doing a lot of dice rolling, and depending on what you roll, it's going to tell you what happens for that specific turn. And the turns are the equivalent of about 2 to 3 days in gameplay. And basically your goal is to make it through without being destroyed and to survive to July of 44, which is when I'm assuming this battle ended. If you get shot down, obviously that is the end of the game. It says it's about a 2 to 3 hour playtime, so pretty decent playtime, but it is most suitable for solitaire play. So if you're into solitaire play, this is definitely going to be up your alley. And I have to say, for someone who's definitely never played a solitaire game before, besides the card game Solitaire, this one doesn't seem too over my head. A lot of these war games, there's so many components and so many things that I feel uneducated in that I feel like I couldn't learn the game. But this one, with the sequence of play and the fact that it's just a lot of dice rolling and charts, and then there are cards involved and counters, but the majority of it is rolling dice and checking the chart and doing what the chart tells you. I feel like it's one that I could potentially learn how to play. Now, will I? I don't know. I'm not promising that. If he hits, 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, or let's say 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, because that's 5,000 is really pushing it. 3 is really pushing it. But let's say we hit 3 by New Year's. I'll learn and play this solitaire game. So share, like, subscribe. But this one, my point in saying that is that this one doesn't seem too confusing for me. And I know I say this a lot, and you're probably sick of hearing it. If this is your first video, then you're gonna hear me say this a lot. But I'm not a stupid girl. I'm not uneducated, but what I mean is that I am someone who is very simple when it comes to games. I like to know what my goal is. I like for things to be very cut and dry. I love video games like Left 4 Dead. Shoot the zombies and that's it. Make it to this checkpoint and you win. When I play games, I don't like a whole lot of these side missions and do this and you got to go here, but you got to get this and you got to get that. And there's no real goal. So when I see these war games being played or I guess them, sometimes they just give me anxiety because I feel like it's just too much and I feel like I'm not educated enough to learn it. So I psych myself out to believe that I couldn't learn it. But this one, I don't feel that way. I feel like I could, if I wanted to, learn and play this one. So literally this one is just a dice and a chart game, basically. That's what this game is. It is in Germany. It's between 43 and 44, and the Dutch are somehow involved. France is involved. I'm guessing you're going to be playing as a specific pilot and whatever side they're on. That's the planes that you're flying for. It says air defense over Germany, so I'm guessing you're playing against the Germans as one of the other side. We'll see how right I was. But that's honestly my guess for the game is you're rolling dice. You follow the sequence of play on this operations map, which is really easy to follow. And then you're going to be using the charts, and it tells you on the sequence of play which chart to reference. And you just reference that, and it'll tell you when to draw a card or when to do whatever. But that's what you're doing. And it still takes, strategy, because you're not just, mindlessly rolling through it. You still have to make decisions, and some of the cards will give you choices, or some of the options will give you choices. So it's still a lot of what you choose and how you make your decisions, but it's the bulk of it is dice rolling, charts, cards, which is probably what most games are. So that's probably not a good guess, but that's my guess for this one. So really quickly, I'm just going to show you the rest of the components of this game. So I showed you the pilot cards. Again, these were the Ace pilot cards. I think there's 60 of those. Then we have combat cards. I'm not going to open these up. On the back, it just says firepower, contact, you are not spotted, you fire first, bomber begins to corkscrew next round, defensive fire, 2 hits. That's just an example of one of these combat cards. And like I said, I didn't see anything in the sequence of play that said that you draw a card. I'm assuming that comes from the chart. So again, here was the operations map. This is like the main thing that you're going to be referencing and using. So there is that. And then we have these 2 player aid cards. It says there are 4 of them. I only have 2 in my hand, so maybe it means front and back. I don't know. But this one says 2 of 3 on the front and on the back. So I must be missing one of them. Like this must be a player aid card maybe. I don't know. We have B1, C1. This says B2 and this says A2. Maybe this is the first player aid card. It just doesn't say that it's a player aid card on here. So anyway, let me show you these last few charts and the counters, and I'll hop off of here. So this one says A2 pilot and crew status. You have a space for an optional ace card up here, which were those pilot cards. And then I'm assuming these counters go over here as you rank up and do different things in the game. Points down here. So if you get prestige points and experience points, and then it says pilot, crewman, has all like different ranks. Experience points. Yeah, so this looks like a chart you're going to be keeping track of for your specific pilot. And then I guess the other one is for the actual plane. So that's what these must be. So these are 2 of the player aid cards, and these are the other 2, I'm guessing. This one is what you keep track with your personal, like your plane and damages and upgrades and things of that nature. And this is what you would keep your pilot's information and upgrades and ranks on. So these are 2 of the player aid cards for your plane, for your pilot. My guess. That's my guess. Don't hold me to anything I say on this video because I could definitely be wrong. And then these are the last 2, which are the charts. And it references on that sequence of play which chart you're going to be using when you roll the dice. And it just takes you straight through the sequence of play. So there is the front of the first one and back. It's just like a standard chart. And there is one side and there is the other side. And yeah, these are the charts because it says if you roll this, this is what happens. So those are the charts you're going to reference when you're rolling. And then this is the sortie log sheet. So this is where you're going to be keeping track of things each turn. It says like I said, it takes the date, the front and the back of each sheet, starts at August of 43 and goes to July of 44. And then it says, you know, raid target, which is the first thing you do. And then your weather, your moon status, aircraft targets, kills, sortie, and notes. I don't know what sortie is. And at the end of each month, it has or not at the end of each month. At the end of November, it says promote. January, it says jamming +1, so I don't know what that means. And then we have another promote in March of 44, intruder, April 44, at the beginning, and then at the end, jamming. June looks like the middle, it says jamming +3. I don't know what that means, but it's on this side of the chart under here. I just found the other player aid card. I feel so stupid. It was under this chart the whole time. It was just stuck to the bottom. So here is the other chart you're going to be using when you're going through the sequence of play. This is the first of the 3 player aid cards. So there is side 1 and side 2. So just another chart. And this has the months listed on it. And it says when you roll whatever you roll, and then it just tells you what happens or what you get, I'm guessing. This says aircraft target chart. We have, what was that? Skills, effect, listing, interception, attack, deck results, bomber damage. I was like, oh, there's a hair on me. I was like, there's a spider on me. There wasn't. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but these are the 3 player aid charts you're going to be using. And then the log sheet. And then last but not least, are these counters. Lovely, just one sheet. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic on that one. So with this, we have the different bases. I showed you on the operations map, there were different bases. So we have Dutch, French, Bremen, Berlin, Munich, Munster, and Frankfurt. Those are like the base zone counters. And then you have, looks like, different planes, or it's like the German eagle thing coming down over the water symbol with different letters and numbers. We have Melsbroek, Scheipel, St. Tron, Twineth, Warden, I don't know if those are names or towns. We have a lot of those with different colors and like different little symbols. Those are right here. We do have some awards and like ranks right here. AIM, then we have some like, it says gunnery, SM gunnery, ACM. I don't know what any of these means, but these are just, they're counters. On this side, we have damaged. On the back, it says inoperable. I'm assuming that's what INOP means. You have some number ones down here at the bottom, which obviously are going to come into play somehow. Duh. You do have the planes up here, which those are pretty cute because those are little drawings, but they're very detailed. It's not just a shadow. It's like actually colored in and detailed in. So I really do like those. I appreciate that. And then we have the weather over here, wounded, critical, and then your ammo down here. So those are the counters. There is the front, and this is the back. And it says at the top, counter 1 of 1 front, counter 1 of 1 back. So you know which is the front and which is the back. So hopefully this wasn't too all over the place. I'm sorry for the jump cut in the middle, but our kids, we have to be up super early in the morning. We're going to see some family out of town, and we're going to leave really early to beat traffic in Raleigh. So trying to get them to bed at a decent time, and I had to interrupt my sentence to make sure things were going smoothly. So I apologize for that. Gimpy, I'm sorry that you had to do a little extra editing. Please forgive me. But anyways, guys, that was my guess of Nightfighter Ace, Air Defense over Germany. Again, this was from Gimpys Games. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Gimpy really pours his heart and soul into this channel, and his every spare moment is spent doing things to better his channel and to give you guys really cool content. And he does that for you. Like he does it because he enjoys it, and it's because of you guys that we're able to do things like this, because of Stuart sending this game to him, which he really wanted. You can never know how much that means to us to have your support. And then when you do things like this, it's just above and beyond. So thank you again to Stuart and to everyone who watches and subscribes. If I could do a behind the scenes video and show you how long it takes him to set up and to film and to edit, you would understand why there's sometimes some gaps in between. And also, he doesn't talk about this much, but he does have a brain injury and he has a lot of issues. He has seizures pretty regularly, different types of seizures, and you may have even seen him have some on camera if he ever just stops talking or spaces out. Sometimes those could be seizure activity. He does have really bad memory problems and dizzy spells and just hearing and vision, a lot of issues from this brain injury that sometimes trickle into his videos. And I just want you to understand, it isn't because he doesn't take this seriously, or it isn't because he's not passionate about it, because he absolutely 1,000,000% loves all of this. Like, he thoroughly enjoys doing it. But I just want to make sure you guys understand how much work he puts into it and how much we both appreciate you guys watching and subscribing, and then especially going above and beyond and sending us things. It's too much, and we definitely don't deserve it, but it is not forgotten, and we definitely appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for watching this Gimpys Gal Guesses. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Alrighty. And scene. Ooh, my stomach's growling. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat before I get hangry at Gimpy, because that wouldn't be very nice. Bye, guys.